So let's talk about something that sounds like it's pulled straight from science fiction, but it's happening right now. We're talking about an AI-powered prosthetic for human memory. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a breakthrough that could literally restore what's been stolen by disease and injury. But it also forces us to ask some really profound questions about who we are. And to really get the gravity of this, we have to start with a fundamental question.
No, really, think about it for a second. What's at the very core of your identity? It's not just your body, it's not your name. It's that whole unique story, isn't it? The memory of your first love, the exact smell of a childhood home, the sound of one particular laugh. It's the entire tapestry of experiences you've woven together over a lifetime.
That's the thing. Your identity is your story, and that story is written in memory. But what happens when that story is stolen? For millions of people, that personal history is being cruelly erased by diseases like Alzheimer's or by traumatic brain injuries. Their identity, their very sense of self is just fading away, page by page.
So, how do we even begin to fix something like that? Well, first, we need to understand how memory breaks in the first place. See, it's not like the memories themselves just vanish into thin air. The problem is biological, and it all comes down to a kind of broken connection inside the brain.
I want you to meet the hippocampus. Think of it as the brain's master librarian. Its whole job is to take all the raw data from your daily life, the sights, the sounds, the feelings, and carefully stitch them into the fabric of your long-term memory. It's the part of you that turns a fleeting moment into a permanent part of your story.
Now, in a healthy brain, this process is just beautiful, it's elegant. You have an experience, right? And that triggers a very specific pattern of electrical pulses, neuroscientists call them spike trains, that zip right through the hippocampus. The hippocampus then reads that electrical code, and boom, a new long-term memory is successfully encoded. The bridge is open for business.
But disease and injury, they can create what are basically dead zones in the brain tissue, necrotic regions. So the electrical signal that's carrying the memory, it arrives at this gap, and it just stops. The librarian is still there. The books are all on the shelves, but the bridge to get to them is gone. So the solution isn't trying to regrow the bridge. It's about building a brand new one.
Okay, so if the problem is a broken biological bridge, the solution, well, it has to be a digital one. And that is exactly what this incredible technology does. It uses this powerful blend of neuroscience and artificial intelligence to literally talk to the brain in its own language.
And this is it. It's called the MIMO memory prosthetic, and it's being developed by absolute pioneers at Wake Forest University and USC. Now, this isn't some generic device. It's what's called a biomimetic system. It acts like a silicon librarian, learning and imitating the brain's unique electrical language. It listens to a person's specific memory patterns to help the brain talk to itself again.
So here's how this amazing thing works in 3 steps. First, an implanted chip sits there and just records the electrical signals from the healthy part of the brain right before it hits the damaged area. Second, a really sophisticated AI model analyzes that unique signal and predicts what the correct, healthy version should look like on the other side. And third, this is the magic part. The chip fires that corrected signal into the healthy tissue downstream, completely bypassing the gap. It rebuilds the bridge in real time.
And the results? They are absolutely staggering. In the studies, participants who already had impaired memory saw their performance on short-term memory and pattern recognition tasks improve by up to 40%. This isn't just some minor tweak, we're talking about a significant restoration of a fundamental human ability.
This technology represents a huge leap forward from the older brain-computer interfaces. I mean, forget those bulky, rigid canisters we used to see. New research is leading to these flexible implants, sometimes called neurolace. We're talking about threads thinner than a human hair that can just rest on the surface of the brain like wet tissue paper. It minimizes damage and makes the whole procedure way less invasive.
The science is, well, it's breathtaking. And the potential to heal is just immense. But like with any technology this powerful, it forces us to confront a total Pandora's box of ethical questions. Because once we can digitize memory, we have to decide who gets to control the story of our lives.
And this is the central dilemma, isn't it? If your most private thoughts, your most cherished memories are being recorded, translated, and stimulated by a piece of hardware and software, are they still truly yours? Who gets to see that data? Who owns the story of you?
This is exactly why experts are already debating something called a neural bill of rights. First, there's the risk of manipulation. What if the AI doesn't just bypass the gap, but starts improving or even creating memories to fill in the blanks? Then you've got the huge issue of data privacy, what we call neural sovereignty. How do we stop a company from owning, analyzing, or even selling the most sensitive data in existence, your actual thoughts? Then, of course, there's access. And finally, the really big one. As we build more and more complex models of the brain, what happens if they cross the line into something that looks like consciousness?
Look, this isn't just about restoring function. This is about protecting the very essence of what it means to be human, because at the end of the day, the stakes could not be higher. This quote says it all, really. If our memories define our sense of self, then whoever controls that technology has a direct line into our very soul.
This technology is coming, and it promises to heal some of the most devastating conditions we can imagine. But it also forces us to draw a very clear line between restoring our humanity and maybe redesigning it. So I'll leave you with this question. If you could pick just one single memory to preserve forever, to make sure it could never, ever be erased, which one would you choose? And why?